Welcome to the ChiroBusinessMojo Podcast, where we deconstruct the methods, marketing, and mindset of successful business people and chiropractors from around the world. And now your host, Dr. Richard Day. Hello, I am Dr. Richard Day, and this is the ChiroBusinessMojo Podcast. I want to thank you so much for spending part of your day with us. And today we are going to continue our discussions with docs who are new in the field. Today we are speaking with Dr. Derrick Dube. He's been in practice just a few months, but already he's learned some valuable lessons and has some insights he wants to share with you on what he's learned so far. Hello, Derrick. How are you?
I'm doing great. Having a good day?
Well, excellent. I want to get right to it. When did you graduate? Remind me again.
I just graduated in April 2016.
Okay, so real new. Well, tell me about what sort of business entity, well, not business entity, but, did you do associate? Did you do independent contractor? What did you choose and why?
So I chose independent contractor. The main reason that I chose that, I found I happened upon a really great opportunity that looked really good with, I guess I'll go ahead and share it with you. And I thought it was great. I would be able to have someone to mentor me through. That's not something a lot of people have in an independent contractor relationship, such a good mentor to help work with them. But the other doctor in the office, we got along really well. And I thought it would be a good thing to do for the short term to help kind of springboard me into, really getting started without having to go into a whole lot of debt, trying to find a building. Right now I'm holding down a part-time job to essentially make the money that I need to pay my rent. And aside from that, the only money I've invested into my business is what I have here in the office, which isn't a lot. I've got a table, a computer, and that was able to get me started. I haven't had to take out any kind of extra debt to do that. So that's kind of the main reason that I chose an independent contractor. Low startup cost, and able to have a good mentor, but still feel like I'm building my own practice.
Yeah, that's a nice way to do it. Definitely, if you're looking to get into the game without much out of your pocket, it's a great way to do it. And you have access to a whole office and x-ray and things like that. And again, that doesn't come out of your bottom line. So I agree with your choice. That's a good way to get going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So how have you been finding patients? What sorts of marketing activities have you been doing?
So I should probably start by saying starting out, I was not as effective as I should have been finding patients. It's really been, I want to say in the last 3 or 4 weeks that the ball has gotten rolling. My wife kind of gave me a big kick in the butt and said, you need to get on gear. So I'm really just now starting to see successes. And for me, really, and it's really unique, there is a drive-in theater down the street from my house that has a swap and shop every Saturday and Sunday, and I've been going there every Saturday every Saturday morning for the last few weeks, and essentially doing massages and adjustments and passing out cards. And at first it was unsuccessful, and then I started getting the numbers of the people I gave cards to or talked with and calling them back, and now I'm starting to see I have a few appointments set up. So that for me has been the most successful thing, was finding this swap and shop to go to, and that's really, really cheap. It's $15 to get in as a seller, and it's been a wonderful opportunity for me. Other than that, I've been going around and having small successes working with volunteering organizations, telling them, hey, I'd love to do health presentations or work with, the less fortunate, doing, reduced or even free services, and hopefully get my name out in the community that way.
Have you had any success through social media and websites and things like that?
Yes. Yeah, I have a website and a Facebook page. I get a lot of views when I look at the analytics, but I haven't really gotten personally any feedback from my website or any patients or anything from my website yet. So that really hasn't been as effective as I hoped that it would be so far.
Well, yeah, that's understandable. I think all of that stuff takes a while, just like the personal touches, like you were saying, going back every day. And eventually you become familiar and they become comfortable with you and you build a relationship. And I think it's probably the same case online to a certain extent. You just have to be there a while and keep at it and update and those sorts of things.
Yeah, I've got those things, but so far they haven't been as effective as face-to-face interactions. That's definitely where it's been at, is hitting the pavement, doing some legwork, getting out and seeing people, even sending emails. My response rate is so low unless I've seen someone. It doesn't even have to be the person I'm emailing. If I've talked to someone in person and they've told me, email this person, that's when I get a response. It's not through looking online and finding someone who looks like they could be useful. It's really anything I've gotten has been a result of a face-to-face interaction with someone.
Well, at this point, I know it's only been pretty short, but at this point, what would you say is your top concern? I mean, obviously, finding patients to grow the practice and hopefully get to the point where you can break even and start making a profit. Is there anything besides that, or is that really it?
For me personally, I really don't think there's been anything besides that. That's really worried me. I'm generally a pretty laid-back guy. I'm not even too much worried about the patients, getting my patients. I know they'll come. I know I'm taking the steps necessary to do so. And so right now I'm just waiting to reap those rewards. Nothing else really comes to mind besides, just trying to get my patients up. I've been working on trying to get onto different insurance companies, and I guess that's been a little bit of a hassle. But I mean, the waiting period sometimes can be up to 90 days after an application. And I mean, I've barely been open 3 months, so I really haven't had that much time so I'm sure in the next month or two, I'll start seeing that. But getting into insurance has been kind of annoying and I guess a little bit worrisome. But again, I know it'll happen eventually.
Well, I guess one last question here. What business entity did you choose? Did you do an LLC or an S Corp? I get that question a lot. Which should I choose? And I know there's good and bad to both. Yeah,
I did an LLC. The reason for that, if you'd like, I assume you'd like to know, was kind of what everyone else was doing. And from the S Corp I didn't know enough about it, frankly. I didn't know enough about the difference between that and an LLC, so I went with an LLC.
We lost our feed with Dr. Dube as we were signing off, so you didn't miss anything. But I do want to point out there are some important differences between LLCs and S Corp. So if you're considering what you should do between those two, check out our show notes, and we're going to have a link to those differences on that page. Thank you for listening to the Chiro Business Mojo podcast. For links to what was discussed in today's episode, check out the show notes at chirobusinessmojo.com. And be sure to jump on over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review if you liked what you heard. We'll see you next time.